What do managers do? First of all, no one taught you how to be a manager. And you can't be a manager if you don't know what to do as a manager. There may be many things that will need your attention, but as a manager, there are 4 major skill sets that all managers must possess. Planning involves the setting of goals and then determining the best way to achieve them.
If you've failed to plan, you're planning to fail.
Everybody may have an idea. But until a concrete action plan is laid down, an idea won't bring you any closer to your goal. A plan enables you to take your concept beyond the idea stage. It does not, however, get the work done. You have to organize things if you want your plan to become a reality. However, there's a famous saying by Stephen Covey. Begin with the end in mind. Anthony J. Robbins is an American author, coach, speaker, and philanthropist. He is known for his infomercials, seminars, and self-help books, including the books Unlimited Power and Awaken the Giant Within. And listen to what he says.
First one is to get you focused on the target. The target is not the activity. The activity can change. It's what's the result I'm after. If you know exactly what it is you really want, what you desire, what you're really after, clarity is power. The more clear you are and specifically what you want, the faster your brain can get you there. But if you're generally saying things like, what do I want? Well, I want more money. Fine, here's $1, get out of here.
Learn how to break down a big cake into small mouthful bites, so that you can enjoy every single bite of the success. Organizing means allocating the resources like people, equipment, and money to carry out the plans. You have to put people and other resources in place to make things happen. As resources is always limited, often challenges may rise from organizing resources to finding resources. However, being too resourceful, spoon-feeding may cultivate weakness and losing focus if there isn't proper direction. You can give a man a fish and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Directing is the process of providing direction and focus for the team and motivating them to achieve the organizational goals. It may always seem easier to do it by yourself rather than leading others to do the same thing.
You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
The person you ask to jump will only jump as high as you want. But the person who is motivated will exceed the expectation.
Whether you get the outcome or not, whether you get that result, will be based first, do you have clarity? And the second thing is, whether you got enough emotional juice to keep going after it when things don't work out. So the second part of RPM is the purpose. RPM, by the way, how many knows what it means when you increase the RPMs in a car? Anybody here? What does that do? It builds up what? Power, speed. Higher RPMs, you can explode through something, right? You can make something happen. So think of this metaphorically also, this rapid planning method, this result planning method. So it's rapid planning, it's a result planning. You want a results-focused, purpose-driven, massive action culture. That's what RPM stands for. It's how you build up power and you break through. But whether or not you get that result will be, are you clear and specific? But also, do you have enough juice when it doesn't work out? How many of you are going after an outcome in your day or in your week, and for whatever reason, you're not able to get it? The person doesn't respond, they're not there, the thing's not there, something interferes, somebody interrupts you. Who's had their plans interrupted? Raise your hand and say, I. So whether you keep doing it or not is, do you have enough emotional juice? See, guys, you all know out of this week, you got more than enough to take your business to a whole nother level. You got more ways. You can go home and be artists now. And somebody, went by so fast, but many of you get the program, you'll watch enough times, you'll be there. Somebody's going to invite us in, we're going to be there and make sure you do it. So it's going to happen. But the art of it being followed through or not is going to come, do you have the emotion to follow through? And that needs to be a part of your thinking also. So the next question I've always asked, besides the outcome, is why? Why is more important than how? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose? Purpose is more powerful than object. Purpose is more powerful than object. Fire and is successful knows the why. You know what the problem is? You might know the why in the beginning. You wrote a mission statement and stuff like that. You got to know why you're doing this right now. This right now. That's what's going to engage you and activate the why. You might have a why, but it's not active. How many follow the difference what I'm talking about here? Say I. Otherwise, that little law of familiarity shows up. You know, well, we're doing this because da 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 da, and you repeat the why, but it has no emotion behind it. See, if I take a stick pin, no, I don't see anything like that, but you know when a woman has a blouse and they have like a little stick pin in it? Let's think that stick pin is a word. And I take that stick pin and I throw it at you. Are you going to feel it? Barely. But if I take that little stick pin called a word and I wire it to the back of a giant iron bar called emotion, now I can take that stick pin and put that thing right through your heart. That's the power of why. RPM. R is the result, the outcome. What you're after, P is the purpose. It's the why. 80% of success is why. 20% is how. Get a big enough why, people will figure out how to do it. Yes. How many agree with me on this? Say I. So you better know your why. So, talking to the president, tell me something. What's your outcome? And then why? And then once we know the why, we know what you're after and why, then the question is, how do we do it? We know what we're after, why, how do we do it? By the way, are there lots of hows to get to an outcome, yes or no? Yes. Are there many paths to get a result, yes or no? Yes. Some are more efficient than others. And you're not going to know. So you know what you do? You brainstorm out all the hows you can think of. All the things you could possibly need to do to get that result. And then you narrow it down to the 20% that makes 80% of the difference. And you'll find out you don't have to do that whole to-do list.
Controlling involves a continuous comparison between the actual to expected performance and taking corrective action when necessary.
Once you get it in your nervous system, it'll take you less time because your brain will be thinking in outcomes and not activities. And when you think in terms of outcomes and not activities, pretty soon some of the activities in your list you don't even need to do to get the outcome. You find a better way to get the outcome quicker. Now, how do you do that? Yes, 3 questions. Question 1, what is my result? What is my outcome? What is it I really, truly want from this? If you're going back next week, and you say this next week, what are the most important what? Outcomes for me to get this week in my business. And you just write those outcomes out, not your action items, the outcomes. If you do that and nothing else, you'll be ahead of the game. And if you just keep looking at those outcomes every day, how am I doing on that outcome? Your brain will come up with ways to get to that outcome. I promise you. Focus on outcomes, not on activities. Action for most people, activities, most people may mistake movement for achievement. They mistake action items and to-dos for achievement. We're after the achievement. Are you with me on this? People say all the time, well, did you get that done? Well, I left them an email. I left them a voicemail. I've sent them 3 emails. How many times have you heard that? When that happens with me, I'm like, but I don't show it. I just like, really? Wow, that's fascinating. We'll explain about our culture. It's about getting the result. So I can help you if you can't figure another way to do it, but there may be 12 other things we might want to do. Maybe they don't have the answer. Maybe somebody else can give us the answer. The outcome was to get this information, not to leave an email or 12 or 3 voicemails. That will not do any of us any good. If you're going to work with a group of people, you better make sure the why touches on all their needs. Does that make sense? When it's you, whose why does it have to be? Whose why does it have to touch? Whose purpose does it have to be? Your own for you to be moved. So if you know the result and you know the purpose, now you need the M, which is the massive action plan. We also call the massive action plan the map. It's your massive action plan, your map. How are you going to get there? What are you going to do? And by the way, when you're crystal clear on what you want and you know why you want it, you can make a big map. You can brainstorm a million ways to do it. Not all your hows are going to work. That's why you make a whole map. And then go back and gradually asterisk the ones that are the most important and go hit those. You might get the whole outcome in the first 2 action items and get rid of your whole rest of your list. This is RPM. But the fastest way to deal with fear is do it anyway. You don't have to feel good to do stuff. That's an illusion. Make yourself do it. What I've trained my brain is when I say do it, we do it. Doesn't matter if it feels good. Doesn't matter if it's too cold. Doesn't matter if I don't feel it. Doesn't matter if I'm fearful. I do it anyway. And when you train yourself to do it anyway, you have a freedom most people will never have.
What do you do when you start a business, but it fails? Well, hopefully you can learn from all the mistakes, all the good things and all the bad things, and reapply it to your new business or reapply it to your new job or your new career destination. Look at Apple. Apple is one of the most prestigious, bankable companies in the world. and they had a lot of failures. They had a lot of launches that didn't work. They had a lot of things that just didn't click with the audience and their customers, but that didn't stop them from having a thriving business. You learn way more when you fail than when you succeed.
Let me give you the one-word secret to happiness. One word.
The easiest way to deal with the fear of failure is to be more fearful of not taking action.
When you think about your risk tolerance for failure, how far are you willing to fail?
Well, I mean, unfortunately and fortunately, I failed quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I understand that's actually part of the process of succeeding. I'm not one that really believe in failure. I believe you have setbacks. And, you have to learn from those. You have to learn what are those landmines that can be avoided the next time. What are those pitfalls? And you have to learn from that stuff. And so, I welcome those things. It's a part of life.
Soon after a new goal is assigned, the managers will need to restart from the beginning of the cycle again. Eventually, you will realize that everyone in the organization is a manager of some organizational goals, no matter at which level they are. Especially in a lean organization, some managers may have to manage several results. And you will also find yourself doing the same things that other functions managers are doing as well. This is why clarification is very important, so that you can share and take advantage of others' resources if needed.